10 chapters. Earlier it was the 6, now it has been modified up to the 10 chapters. So in the chapter 1 there is what you call the name of the taxa according to their rank, the name of the taxa according to their rank, and the second is the status, typification and priority of the names that deals with the article 6 to 14, and the name of the taxa according to their rank deals with the article 1 to 5, and there are about 76 articles are there. So that are all are arranged according to this. In the chapter 2, the nomenclature of taxa according to their rank, that covers the article 16 to 28. The nomenclature of taxa according to their rank, that is the chapter 3, and covers the article 16 to 28. Then the chapter 4 is effective and valid publication. Effective publication, you can say effective and valid publication, that covers with the article 29 to 31. Then the chapter 5th, valid publication of names, that is covered with the article 32 to 50. It has been written 50, 450, but it is not, it is 50. You can correct it, it is 50, 32 to 50. And the citation, that is also included the 46 in 32 50, where the 46 up to 46 to 50, that is about the citation, that is article 6 of the code. Chapter 6 of the code is the article 46 to 50. Then the chapter 7, that is the rejection of names, that is article 51 to 58, that covers with the article 51 to 58. And it is earlier it was the valid publication. The citation was also included in that chapter, but now it has been separated as a 6th chapter. Our articles 32 to 50 it is as a whole, but about the citation they have talked about the 46 to 50 article, and the rejection of the names is the 51 to 58. Then the orthography of names, orthography and gender assignment, that covers with the 62 to 62. Then the orthography means there is if there is any spelling mistake or the changes in the spelling, so that covers under this chapter 7 or article 60 to 62. For example, earlier it was amaranthacea. It was earlier amaranthacea. So it was realized that instead of the amaranthus is the genus. Amaranthus is the genus, and the rule said that the name of the family must be based on certain genus. So it was considered that instead of the amaranthacea, it was orthographically wrong, so it was changed as amaranthacea under this article. Okay. Then the name of the organisms treated as fungi, that is the article F1 to F9, and then the name of the hybrid, that covers the article H to H12. How the name of the hybrid would you identify? As in the morning session I have already told you that for example, Musa paradisiaca, and in between the Musa paradisiaca a cross has been placed. So this cross or X indicate that this name is the name of the hybrid. So that covers with the article 1 to 12. Then the provision, the third division is the provision for the modification of the code, or you can say the provision for the governance of the code. There are the 8 provisions. The provision 1, general provision for the governance, then the nomenclature committees, then the institutional votes, then the guiding votes, then the procedure for the nomenclature section, then the provision 6, the proposal to amend the code, then provision 2, decision and the recommendations, then provision 8, proposal relating solely to fungi. This provision is only for the fungi. So there are 8 provisions through which we can modify the code. Provision for modification of the code. So what is the general governance are there said. The nomenclature, there is a nomenclature committee. If there is any provision to modify the code, if there is a need to modify the code, then that must be go through the nomenclature committee, and with that committee there are voting, that the institutional votes must be over there. And if all the provisions are open for the modification of the code through this procedure. We would start with the types of classification. There are the 3 types of the classifications are there. That is the artificial, natural and phylogenetic. So we would discuss about the types of the classification over in this session. First we have to move with the what is the classification. Classification, how to classify the plants, in what rules, in what base you would classify the plants. There is you have to maintain certain groups. Suppose the plant kingdom is the animal kingdom. These are the groups. And if I said the plant kingdom, you have to classify the plant kingdom. What you will do, you would have to break the broader group into the smaller groups. So that is simply a management of this system, that is called as the classification. So in case of the plant classification, there is the plant kingdom, then what is then the division, then the class, then the order, then this is all such the categories that includes in the classification. So classification is just to manage the things, how do you manage from the broader level to the lower level. There are certain characters, certain base, and that basis you can classify the things. It is classification is of mainly 3 types: artificial, natural and phylogenetic. Each type have had its own criteria and purpose. And the artificial classification that is based on a few observable characteristics, observable through which you can observe. Suppose in the earlier days, the classification of the families were in base of the number of the anthers only. If there is a 1 anther, the 2 anther, and 3 anther, monoandria, diandria, triandria, tetrandria, and pentandria, and hexandria, etc., etc. So that was the classify according to the number of the pollen, stamens. How many stamens are there? So they make the certain groups. So artificial system is based only on the certain observable characteristics, that the uses and that the superficial traits as well as the color, shape, size, number of the parts, whatever it is, and we can classify on the basis of the color, on the basis of the size, on the basis of the shape. So whatever the one characters may be chosen. When we are talking about the classification, in case of the taxonomy, when we were talking about the definition of the taxonomy, then we have told you that the taxonomy includes the identification, classification and nomenclature of organisms. So I have given you the example of the chalks. There is some writable material is there, writable articles are there. There is a pen, there is a G pen, then the chalk, then there is a ball pen, then a gel pen. So I said that you have to classify these articles. These articles will be used for the writing purposes. So what you will do, you have to sort it out. The chalk will be separated out from the another group that is used for writing purposes in the paper, and chalk can be used only for the blackboard. So you cannot write the paper with the chalk, you cannot write the pen with the blackboard. So on that basis of the utility, you have added classify these writable articles. So what the criteria of the artificial classification is that the only observable characters can be selected for the classification. Either it is color, size or shape of the number of whatever it is. What will be the advantage of this? Simple and easy to use. What is the advantage? Simple and easy to use, useful to quick identification. Suppose you have said that there is a group which having the writable articles. What you applied? You have applied the chalk may be separated from these pens. So easily you have separated. Why it is observable? It is that these articles are used for the writing purpose. So immediately you have classified that. So disadvantage, what are the disadvantage? If there is an advantage, then there may be some disadvantage also. That does not reflect evolutionary relationship, though we can classify the thing, but only on the basis of the one or two observable characters. So it doesn't reflects the evolutionary relationship. That is the main disadvantage of the artificial classification, and it can be misleading. It can be misleading because you have selected only one or two characters which is observable, which you can observe in the identifying material. The Linnaeus, how did the Linnaeus classify the system? On the basis of the only floral characters, they have classified the thing. Only two or three characters they have classified. Then the natural classification. In case of the natural classification, the classification based on large number of characteristics. While in case of the artificial, it is only one character that is selected for the classification. Here, that is the bigger characters may be selected, and the number of the characters may be bigger than the artificial system. Artificial, there is only one character is selected, while in case of the natural classification, there are more than one. The few characters you can say, it may be 2, it may be 3, it may be 4, whatever it is, but it can be observed in the plant, it can be seen by the naked eyes in the plant. So that characters, on the basis of that characters, if we are classifying the plants, then we can say that it is the natural classification. And the Bentham and Hooker system is the natural system of classification. Why it is natural? Because they have selected 1 or 2 or 3, whatever they have selected, not the definite number, they have selected some characters which can be observed in the plant with the naked eyes. Either they have selected, suppose they have selected the stipules. On the basis of the stipules, we can easily identify 7, 8 families. On the basis of the stamen condition of diploisteinomas, didynamas, tetradynamas, then the monoadalphas, diadalphas, polyadelphas. So these are such characters on that basis we can classify the groups, classify the family. So this is the criteria, considers overall similarities and differences in the morphology, anatomy, physiology and other traits. So if there is any difference in the morphological characters, in the anatomical characters, in the physiological as well as the other traits, so on that basis we can identify, we can classify, not the identify, we can classify the things. And advantage, what is the advantage of the natural character? More accurate and reliability is there, because you can observe by your own naked eyes, by your own eyes. So whatever you are seeing in the plants, so you are on that basis you are classifying the things. Reflects a natural relationship among the organism. It also reflects a natural relationship in the organism. And what are the disadvantages? Of course, there is advantage, there must be some disadvantage, or there are more complex and time consuming. If we are studying the anatomical and the physiological similarities, then of course it will be the time taking and require detailed knowledge of the organism. This advantage is this, it needs the detailed knowledge. Without having this detailed knowledge, you cannot identify, classify the things. Example, Bentham-Hooker system is, as I said, this is the natural system of classification. Then the phylogenetic system. Phylogenetic classification is based on the evolutionary relationship. It is not the natural character. This system based only on the evolutionary relationship. So the criteria, what will the criteria for this evolutionary relationship? Uses genetic, morphological and molecular data to determine the evolutionary history, to determine the similarities and the dissimilarities. So on that basis we can classify. Angular and parental system is the phylogenetic system, and the entire Bentham-Hooker system is the phylogenetic system. So advantage, what will be the advantage of this system? Reflects a true evolutionary relationship, because we are studying, we are classifying the things, the plants on the basis of their genetic makeup, their morphological, genetical, morphological and molecular data. So it may be the number of the chromosome, it may be the pattern of the division, it may be the evolutionary trends, whatever it is. So on that basis we can classify the plant kingdom. So that is the advantage, and it also provides the insights into the evolutionary history of the organism, that also we cover up in the phylogenetic classification. And the disadvantage requires the advanced technique. If you are studying the genetic morphology, genetic phylogenetic study and molecular data, if you are going to study, then of course it requires the advanced techniques as well as the technology. They can be complex and difficult to interpret, and it is also one of the disadvantages, whether you have to study it with the advanced technique and technology, how do you interpret? So that is one of the disadvantages of the angiosperm phylogeny group classification system. This is the, then the comparison of the classification type, artificial versus the natural classification. Artificial based on few traits, not the evolutionary, and the natural based on many traits. Artificial, I have already told you that it is based on the few characters, one or two characters, and not the evolutionary data. The natural based on many characters. If you are selected more than one characters, then it will be of natural. If it is based on only few, one or two characters, and it is in natural, it is more than two, and artificial it is one or two character based on the. Then the phylogenetic and natural system, as I told you, they are based on the overall similarities. Many may not reflect the true history. So natural system based on the similarities. For example, if you go through the Brassica oleracea, Brassica, it is variety capitata. Then oleracea variety botrytis. Then Brassica oleracea variety sarso. Brassica oleracea variety dichotoma. So all are the species of the Brassica oleracea. These having the almost same smell of the plant. They are having the cruciform corolla. But the difference is very minor at the varietal level. Here in case of the capitata, edible part is changed. Here in case of the we are using the inflorescence for edible purpose. Here we are using the leaf for the edible purposes. Here it is the yellow sarson, it is the kali sarson, black sarson, whatever it is, but there is a very minute morphological differences are there. So based on the overall similarities and may not reflect true evolutionary history. So this doesn't have any evolutionary history. Then the phylogenetic based on the only and only evolutionary relationship and uses the advanced data. So this is the all the members of the Brassicaceae having the same smell as well as the aroma because of the presence of the certain chemical which are found in almost all the members of the Brassicaceae. So this is the similarity between the cabbage, between the botrytis and the cauliflower or the turnip, whatever it is. So this is the natural and phylogenetic. Then the importance of the classification. What is the why the classification is the important? Because it is with the classification we can organize the biological diversity. Helps in the understanding or organizing the vast diversity of the life. That is the main importance of the classification, as well as the scientific research provides a framework for the studying and comparison of the organism. Through research we can set in comparison through which we can make a comparison by scientific research. Then the conservation aids in identifying and protecting endangered species. Agar classify, if we have classified the things, then we can know these are the endangered, these are the vulnerable, these are the threatened. So we can conserve according to that category. If it is the vulnerable, if it is the endangered, if it is endangered, it means it will in near future it will be extinct. So through the classification we can make a category, and which category it can be placed. It may be placed on the vulnerable, or it can be placed on the endangered, or it may be placed in the threatened. So through which we can protect them for the disappearing. So this was all about the classification, detail of the classification. Then we will meet on the next session with a new topic.